Hey folks, this is Kalani. I'm going to apologise right from the forefront because this video may be all over the place and may not get all the information I want to get to you. So this is going to be about Ascended crafting, and specifically 400 to 500 crafting, which is going to be, the first ones we're getting obviously are weaponsmithing, artificing and huntsman. Now, the first thing that I'm going to say is 400 to 500 is going to be a mix of refining tier 6 that is going to give you experience. If we just go down to refinement down here, so you will be able to refine orichalcum and obviously your ancient wood. Yeah, that's going to be staple across all three, so you're going to be able to refine those for a bit of experience, but the most of it is going to come from creating exotics. So we are going to be creating level 80 exotics, but all discoveries, all discoveries are going to be reset. So obviously when you discover something very nice for the first time through the discovery, you get a nice amount of bonus experience. So that is going to be present on the exotics that we make for the first time. So they are resetting that to give us that bonus experience. Now, after 450, now this is where it starts to get a little cloudy, because I can't show you this. This is really annoying. But after 450, you will start getting the recipes to refine the new materials, and apparently after that, it's going to be very easy to get to 500. So, in the collectibles tab, now I kind of can show you this, there's going to be a new tab for the Ascended materials, and it's going to be labelled Ascended materials. So, a few of these are going to be through refining old tier materials. Now, I need to make sure I get this right. So, we'll go through the ones which are not that kind of deal. If I can find... Bear with me one moment. Here we are. Okay, so we have an item which is bloodstone. Now it's bloodstone dust, which then refines into bloodstone brick, I believe. And that will be available through champion loot bags. Now we have a Dragon Knight ore, which will refine into Dragon Knight ingot, which is available through temples, so the temples down in ore, world bosses, and all the mega bosses and that kind of chest, and keeps in World vs. World. We have Imperial fragments and crystals, I believe, fragments obviously refining into crystals, which will be available via dungeons, mini dungeons, jumping puzzles, and camps and towers in World vs. World. Globs of dark matter will be a new salvage item specifically from exotics, so you can only get that from salvaging exotics. I'm going to assume that's probably level 80 exotics, although there may be leeway on that. We'll have to do some experiments. And there's going to be a new reagent from the vendor, and I believe that was 14 silver 96 or something very close to that. I think it was, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just short of 15 silver. So they're the ones which are not through refinement of other materials. Now I've got an example here which uses, this is a recipe for one of the other Ascended materials, and it uses iron ingots, dark steel ingots and steel ingots with, I don't know where this comes from. That's one thing that I'm going to have to specifically find out as it patches. If anyone's got any other information about this specific item, please do leave it in the comment section below, because I haven't found anything. I've been through the live stream several times, and that specifically wasn't mentioned. So that's going to be a little bit of a mystery until we get to the day. Now, I assume that others are going to follow suit, and there's cloth, there's leather, and there's even spools of thread. So that's going to be very interesting to have a look at. I don't have any screenshots for the rest of that, I'm afraid, so we'll have to look at that as the day comes. But apart from that, we have ascended inscriptions as well. Now, this is really nice how these are working. You buy one ascended inscription, and when you use it, it gives you an option of which inscription to then gain. So that's a really nice way of doing it. That's a very nice way to cut down on the amount of clutter in the vendor, obviously. So that's all for now for the kind of reagents we're going to be using. Obviously, we'll be able to use some of these at the 450 mark, and obviously we're going forward into creating the ascended weapons. Now, apparently, these are gated to about 2 weeks, so it's going to take you roughly 2 weeks to create one of these, and each of the ascended weapons is going to have, they're going to share a model, but they'll have a different colour scheme, or they'll differentiate the colour depending on the stat with the most. I can't remember the specific word. The primary stat. I'm useless. The primary stat. So we'll go through them on the screen here, and I'll obviously let you know which one is which. So we've got Celestial, primary, obviously. That's kind of obviously doesn't have a primary really, but it's got a nice rainbow effect to kind of settle in with the idea that it doesn't have a primary, so it's an amalgamation of colours. My favourite one is probably the white one, which is healing. We have red for power, orange for condition damage, yellow for precision,
spirits of the wild welcome you,
green for toughness, and vitality is blue. Got it. Boom. Okay, so I've got a great sword here, obviously, for the screenshots. I don't have anything else. There is the rifle skin, which is available via screenshot over on the previous blog post, which looks very nice, but I'm going to assume they all have this kind of thin, ivy, weavy texture deal going on, if you know what I mean. So they're very interesting. I can't wait to see some of the other ones. On the live stream specifically, she said she was excited for the staff and focus. So very excited to see a staff. Because all the other staff, let's be honest, staffs haven't been given a great deal of love. Now, I don't think I've got anything else. I'm just looking at my notes here, and I don't think I've got any more information for you. Oh, except anything that has a chance to drop ascended, or ascended items, ascended materials, also has a chance to drop an ascended weapon, a full-blown ascended weapon. It's going to be a weapon chest, and you can basically choose. I can't remember if it's you choose a weapon of a stat, or you choose a stat of a weapon. So it might drop, say, a greatsword chest, and you get to choose what stats your greatsword has, or it might drop a power chest, and you get to choose what weapon you have with power, precision, crit damage, or whatever, that kind of deal. So it's one of the two, but either way, you can drop, or you can get a full-blown ascended weapon, which is very interesting. Now, to finish, I'm just going to say, I have been gathering a lot of materials here. Now, obviously, we're going to have some which use an amalgamation of lower tiers, and then we're going to use a great deal of other materials. Specifically, we're going to use a lot of globs of ectoplasm, so if you can get these cheap, I would recommend doing so. And the other one is pile of crystalline dust, because they are used in a lot of these recipes, from what I can tell. I don't think a great deal of T6 is going to be used, but obviously we're going to be making level 80 exotics to get to the 450 mark, so you may need a few of these as well. Just something to think about. Apart from that, with the common crafting materials, I'd recommend stocking up on a great deal of metal and a great deal of wood. I've got a lot of this scattered around in my bank, which is actually full right now, but it's full of kind of crap anyway. But you can see I've got a nice stockpile of materials, kind of a just in case basis. Also, a few of these are going to go up. I kind of speculated that really early. And right now, if the economy does happen to go to shit and we end up with a bit of inflation for however long, that means that gold's going to lose its price, which means that you have more gold in materials rather than gold in gold if you spend your gold now, which is why you see me down at a lowly 28 gold. Hooray! So just to give you a heads up, if you want to start collecting a few bits and pieces like I have, I'm going to be bringing out a weaponsmithing guide, or just like a general video very soon, because I know I actually was asked yesterday about weaponsmithing specifically, and someone was stuck with that. So if you notice this tune doesn't have weaponsmithing, I'll go ahead and do weaponsmithing on this for you guys. Get to 400 really quickly, and obviously when we do get the patch, I'll be going straight to 500, probably within the first hour, depending obviously on the ascended materials and how gated they are. But for a quick recap, the items which are not going to be refined are Bloodstone items from Champion loot bags, Dragon Knight items from temples down in ore, World Boss chests or keeps in World vs World, Imperial items which are from dungeons, mini dungeons, jumping puzzles, camps and towers in World vs World, globs of dark matter which are from salvaging exotics specifically, and there is a new reagent from the vendors. Okay, I think that's all I've got. I may have missed something, but if you want any of this in more detail, as well as a few of the legendaries got a few changes, I'm not going to do a video on that, because the best way of you getting a visual representation of that is to go and watch the live stream. I'll link that below. There's a lot more information there, obviously, on all of this. This is where I've got all my information from, so if you want anything in more detail and want to have a look for yourself, the live stream is the best place. And she plays a lot around with a few legendaries, so you can see it there on the screen instead of trying to decipher a screenshot that I'm showing you. So once again, I'll link that in below. Apart from that, I don't have anything else I can share with you until the day where we actually get this crafting. This is going to be amazing. Anyway, remember to hit like below the video before you leave. If you're not subscribed to me, that may be something to consider. We will celebrate you into the fold with ice cream and chocolate cake. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.